Next up, I want to call to the stage Break It Down. This team is made up of Melanie McFarland and Jeff Payne from the University of Texas at Austin.
Joining us in this really exciting opportunity. Again, I want to thank the judges and Dell, the RTK Center, and the University of Texas. So I'm Melanie McFarland. This is Jeff Payne. We are husband and wife, and we are also the co-founders of Break It Down. And Break It Down is a decentralized, community-minded composting program here in Austin. Our vision is to build a composting program that can grow to cities and communities across the U.S. I just want to give you a little bit of history of how we got started. So I was working at a local yoga studio, and at this yoga studio they serve chai tea. And they serve this chai tea after every class, and they put it into compostable cups. So the people drink their tea and they love it, and then they throw it into the trash can, where at night we tie it up in a plastic bag and send it off to a landfill. Now they're paying extra money for these compostable cups. And what nobody realizes is that these cups are not breaking down in the landfills. And if they do, they're actually emitting methane, which is causing more problems. So I tried to, talk to the owners and say, hey, there's something we should do here. We need to get these composted. You're spending the extra money for the compostable cups. Well, as we started to do some research, there's no services available for a mid-sized business. Now, if you're a big Whole Foods or HEB, you can get composting done on a larger scale. But for small businesses, there were no composting solutions here in Austin. So that's where Jeff and I kind of came in and decided, hey, let's see what we can do with this program. And our idea is a model that we think is innovative because it brings composting to the community. It makes the connection between the food that we waste, the chai tea that we drink, and the food that is being produced. So I'm going to let Jeff tell you a little bit about the innovative model that we have going.
Okay, so, that's loud. So to explain a little bit about how our innovation works, it's worth explaining for a moment how commercial composting facilities work. So what goes on at a commercial system is that food is taken outside of cities, it's composted in large quantities. Thank you, Peter. We appreciate that. So as I was saying, the food is taken outside of cities, it's composted in large quantities, and then it's resold back into farms or local gardens. So the difference that we are making is when we pick up material from local restaurants or coffee shops, maybe you've been to Progress Coffee, Daily Juice, Kirby Lane, all these places we've added on. We take that material straight to local farms or community gardens, and we compost it in partnership with the people there. And then the compost becomes a resource for them. We do not sell this compost, it is simply available for them for organic agriculture. So in this sense, compost is no longer a commodity, it is now a community resource. And we're doing this in a way that scales well and we can expand throughout the city. We tie in with this a number of different educational programs because we feel that's really important. We have an internship program. We offer that for UT students, so get my card afterwards. And there's a couple of them here. It's been great so far. We're looking at building that up. And those students get the opportunity to be involved in various activities in our program. We also offer composting workshops for local residents. We have a school cafeteria composting program that we work on. We started with one school so far. We helped them set up a cafeteria composting system, and now we're going to bring curriculum in to support that system and do it in a way so that we also support fundamental math and science teaching requirements. So we very much see our waste diversion program as a tool for education and as a tool for social change. Now there's one final component to our program, and that involves food production. Because when we're composting food with local farms and gardens, we're doing it in different ways. So we get compost, and then we also use worms and grubs to compost this material. And that gives us potential food that can be fed to chickens and fish. Okay, so this is what's so cool about this. We're taking waste and we're making food in very few steps, and we're doing it at a hyper-local scale. So what all the money from the Dell goes to, whatever we get or whatnot, it's all about supporting the infrastructure needed to create food. Okay, so we're gonna start making fish here in Austin. We're gonna have a creative method to get those to families that are in need, low-income families. We'll also sell some through various retailers, and we're gonna do this all locally. I feel pretty good about that. So that's what we're doing. Thank you.
I'm going to call now on Aaron to pose a question.
First of all, great idea, great presentation this morning, and it's exciting to see how personally passionate you are. It's exciting to see you didn't give birth to that baby yet today. So you got a lot going on in this model. You've got waste diversion, education, food production. How do you think about where your priorities should be first? And is there a phasing that's important if you've got limited resources? How would you think about the next year, whether you won the dollars or whether you didn't?
Right, so you want me to take this one? Okay. So it is definitely an ambitious proposal, and I think that's pretty evident for all the judges that looked at the business plan. We have a lot of different things on our plate in terms of taking this waste and creating value for it. In terms of some of our highest priorities, the first one is to just continue to grow the waste diversion program that we have going. Since we wrote our business plan 3 or 4 months ago for this competition, we have tripled in scale in terms of the number of businesses that we collect from. So this is something that is really growing in Austin. I think that eventually composting is going to become the norm here, and I think that in that way Austin's going to be a leader across the country. So for one, we want to just stay on the forefront and maintain a good market share with our hauling program. And then the second part, and this is where the Dell money I think would go towards, primarily is the infrastructure for food production, and specifically targeting fish, because that is the largest revenue stream out of all of it. So, for instance, on our business plan, we don't even discuss selling vegetables, even though that is an additional product that you get from aquaponics systems. But it's not a concern for us as much as the fish, so we didn't even mention it.